Well, good morning, MGTOW. Welcome back. So, what are we looking at here today? Well, I went home, picked up the mail, got all my nice stuff from Amazon or whatnot. But then I got this letter in the mail saying exactly what you see here: annual notice of child support delinquency. And it says that I owe child support. Now, it says I owe them, and I better pay. And I'm gonna read the letter to you because it's kind of weird how they do everything. I know I don't owe them any money because I just checked my pay stubs to make sure that everything was being taken out. So I don't owe them a damn thing. But either way, they send out the letter. And I don't know if they send this out because of bureaucracy, it was a mistake or whatnot, or they send it out to scare you, or they send it out simply as a mean of sweeping out the guys that haven't been keeping up. But here's what it says: you owe past due child support. This notice tells you how much past due child support you owe, ways that we can collect the money, how to pay, and you can tell us if you think it's a mistake. Now, it says if you file for bankruptcy, tell us right away. Some of the information in this letter may not apply to you. If you move or change jobs, tell us right away. We need to know so we can send you important information about your case. So how much do you owe, right? And it says that the last page tells me how much I'm gonna owe, or that I owe supposedly. This is continued on the back, so we go to the back, right? And here's where it gets interesting. Look what it says: what happens if I don't pay? And this is how it all applies to MGTOW. See? It says we can collect the money in different ways. It includes money that you owe now and your current support that you owe but don't pay after the date of this letter. For example, we can take 25% or more out of your paycheck for money you regularly for money you get regularly, such as wages, pension, employment, or workers' compensation benefits. We can take 25% more than the amount in your child support order. For example, if we were taking 100 of each paycheck for current support, we would start taking 125. Now, imagine you're paying your bills, you're staying afloat, sending money to your kids, and they, and I don't know, maybe you started, you had a couple of slow weeks at work, right? And you got behind on your child support payments. Now they're taking 125 or 25% more out of that same paycheck. When you're trying to recover, you just won't see the day of light, the light of day, excuse me. The next thing they can do is they can take the money you have in the bank. So there goes your savings, right? It says this includes money in the bank accounts, stocks and bonds, and retirement funds. There goes your retirement too. It says they can put a lien on your house or other buildings or land that you own. For example, if you sell your house, we may take money from the sale to pay your past due child support. And we can do this even if the property is outside of my state, right? Says we can suspend your driver's license or other licenses to keep you from getting new ones, This includes your registration for your car and other businesses, trade, professional, and recreational licenses. So there we have it. We have a situation where you may need your license to get to work, so that you can pay child support. But because you owe, you're backed up in your child support payments, they take your license away. So now you're in a situation where, you know, if you had a nice job, I don't know, say you had a job that required you, you know, to drive somewhere. Maybe you were a pipe welder or something, you know, making big money, but you needed to drive. Maybe you were a salesperson, right? Now you can't do that job, so you got to work at McDonald's paying that same child support. They drive you into poverty. These people drive you into poverty. So let's see. The next thing they will do, in case you don't pay, is they'll keep you from getting or renewing your passport once you owe more than $2,500. So you can't even travel, you know. I don't know, say you have an import-export business and you have some you know, some contacts abroad that you need to keep in touch with or whatever. You can't travel. Maybe your mother dies in another country, right? And you can't go see her. You see what I'm saying? They got you. They got you. The next thing they'll do is they'll tell consumer credit reporting agencies that you owe child support. So if you owe more than $500, you know, it'll hurt your credit score and make it harder to get loans. So you can't even get a loan to pay child support, you know. So they get to slap on the late fees and all that, right? So you can't even get a loan to pay it off and then, you know, pay a loan at a lower interest rate. They'll give your name to a collection agency, right? So some of the money you pay the collection agency might go towards the collection agency fee, and the rest goes towards the past due child support you owe. So they won't even go through the trouble of, you know, collecting your money. They'll have somebody else collect, you know, and that's how these people operate. Next, they'll take your federal and state tax refunds. If you owe support at tax refund time. If you're married and filing a joint tax return, your spouse may be able to get part of the refund. But your spouse must ask the tax agency, for example, the Internal Revenue Service, how to get it back. So in other words, if you're married to another broad, right, and she gets a refund, but you're paying child support for your kids with another woman, they'll let her have her money. You see what I'm saying? You see how the system operates to keep the women, you know, free from having to pay into it. So the women, you know, she marries you, but you know, she's free of that responsibility. But if you were to marry her, right, all of a sudden her kids become your burden. You see what I'm saying? So this is not worth it, guys. It's just not worth you know, trapping yourself into the system. And then they say here they can take some other payments from the Office of the State Controller or from the Abandoned Property Division of the State Treasurer. So if somebody left you, I don't know, maybe your father died, he left you some money, right? Or maybe, you know, maybe you have some property somewhere that, you know, you had forgotten about, right? Or some rich uncle left you or whatever, right? They'll take that too. They'll take payments from an insurance company, you know, like annuities and that sort of stuff. And they'll take payments from the U.S. Department of Treasury. You know, your taxes. So they're gonna get theirs. They're gonna get their money regardless of, you know, of what happens to you. And if they pay any fees or costs while they're trying to collect your past due child support, you pay those too. So you see, so, and then it says here, you know, how do I send the payment? So you're now that they got you scared, you know, they throw out these questions here. You know, how do you send the payment? So to pay your child support, mail a copy of this letter with a check or money order to your, you know, to your home state, and that's how they'll collect, right? What if I'm already making payments, right? So they'll try to collect the rest of the money you owe, and then they'll say here, look what they say. Past due child support is not like a loan where you just need to pay a certain amount every month. All the money is due right away. Let me see, let's clear here. Every month that you don't pay all your current child support, we can charge you 0.5 point in interest. All right. And sorry about the moving the phone here. And a 5%, 0.5% penalty on all the past due child support you owe. So they'll charge you interest and they'll charge you a penalty. So you end up paying 1% extra on interest and penalties. All right. So what if you think there's a mistake? Like in my case, right? You know, they just send me this letter, and it's a mistake because I've been paying. So this is where you know they'll just, you know, they don't give a rat's ass, guys. Look, if you think we're wrong about how much you owe, you can ask for an administrative review. So they'll put you through the system. They're gonna put you through the system. This means we will review your child support account and decide if there's a mistake. So they decide if there's a mistake, right? Luckily for me, I can prove it. You know, I can prove that they've been taking money out of my, you know, garnishing my wages. But that doesn't absolve me of having to prove myself innocent. So it says here, you'll need to show us proof that you don't owe the money. For example, cancel checks and other receipts. And then it says to ask for a review, fill out the form included with this letter and mail it within 30 days. You can't ask for an administrative review over the phone. So you can't even call these people. You know, they're too good for you. You can't talk to them. You got to send them a letter. It's got to be formal. It's got to be written. You know, you got to go through the process the way they want you to go through the process. And it says, we'll review your case and send you a determination letter, a letter with the results of your review. So, guys, this is 2020, you know, almost 2021. And these people, you know, they're doing things the way of the dinosaur. So you send a letter, you know, over the mail, you know, not really, you know, snail mail or even priority, right? You know, hopefully they get the letter, right? With the way the U.S. Post Office works, hopefully they get the letter. Then they'll review it. So now you're wondering, you know, what happened? You know, did these people receive my letter, or am I still backed up in my child support payments, right? According to them. So they'll put you through the grinder, you know, even if you're a responsible human being making your payments, you know, because you believe that, you know, the kids didn't come to the world on their own. You decide, hey, I'm gonna make my payments. You know, I'm gonna get a regular job and make my payments. They'll put you through the grinder, you know. And if you try to get a job that pays less, they'll know about it. You know, there's no escape. So here's what they say. We'll review your case and send you a determination letter. After we do the review, if we find that you still owe past due child support, we can use all the ways listed in this notice to collect the money you owe. And if you think the results are wrong, you can ask the court that issued the order to review your case. This is called judicial review or court review. If you want a court review, you must ask the court within 45 days of determination, include a copy of your determination letter, and tell us the date and time of the hearing. So you see how you end up in court, you end up going through all this hassle, all these problems, all because you decided to stick your balloony pony in some chick that all she had to do was open her legs for a good half hour, and she's set for 18 years. You know, all this, you know. So what if you think, here's another, you know, insult to injury here. What if I think I should be paying a different amount of child support? All right? Maybe you, as a man, you think you're paying too much because the formula is there to benefit women, right? She doesn't have to prove that she spends any of it on the kids or your kids. She can spend it on somebody else's kids that are hers but not yours, or she can just party it away. I've seen it happen. When I was a cab driver, I used to see this all the time. So, what if I think I should be paying a different amount of child support? Well, it says you can ask them for a change, right? You can call the number below, you know, or visit your state government website. But they can tell you to pay more, less, or the same amount. You see what I'm saying? So just because you ask doesn't mean that you'll get it. To get an idea of how much a court may order you to pay in child support, use the child support guidelines worksheet. And we know that, you know, those guidelines they're so unfair to men. They really are. You know, think about your purchasing power, guys. You know, as a man, you know, compared to women, your purchasing power as a man, right? You earn enough to be able to pay for yourself, you know, maintain yourself, maintain a woman, and several other people, you know, aka kids, right? But what happens, you know, after you marry and divorce, and she puts you through this system here that we're talking about, you can't even support yourself because they're so unfair. These child support guidelines will tear a man up. You see what I'm saying? It's theft. That's what it is. So, but if you have any general questions or concerns, according to them, you can call them. Remember, if you think we're wrong about how much you owe and you want us to review your case, you have to fill out the form included with this letter and mail it to us to request an administrative review. So they'll put you through the system. It takes time. They're going to make you jump through hoops, all while you're trying to stay employed, all while you're trying, you know, while you're living in a shitty place because you can't, you know, you're having a hard time staying afloat because they're taking all your shit. So, and then the next page, which I'm not going to show you, it shows the name of my ex-wife, and you know how much I supposedly owe them. And then this here, oops, excuse me, if you saw that. This here is the legal authority that allows them to, you know, to send the cops over to you and make the arrest in case you don't pay, or you know, or and to do all those nice things that they said they were gonna do. Again, you got to fill out the form. So this is the form that they make you fill out. Hopefully you can see it. It's a very simple form, you know, information they already have. This is information they already have. But they got you. They got you by the balls, you know, all because you thought that she was cute and you decided to have a baby with her, you know. And here's the documents, a list of documents. This is a lot of paperwork, guys. It's a lot of paperwork. You want to stay away from this crap. It says you must send documents that help prove the reason you checked above, right? And here are some examples of the documents that you can send: canceled checks or money orders, copies of court orders, copies of pay stubs that show your employer took money from your pay for child support, which is what I'm gonna end up doing. Copies of letters from your employer telling the Department of Revenue that the Department of Revenue, for those of you who are, you know, not familiar with you know, these people, that's you know, that's the IRS basically, right? It's just it's all a racket, guys. It's all a racket. Being a father nowadays is you know, they'll tear you up. The employer kept money from your paycheck to pay child support, right? Copies of receipts of child support payments you make directly to the other parent, eviction notices, notices of foreclosure, utility shut-off notices, court documents showing that you're the appointed conservator or guardian. That's in case they charge you and they were supposed to charge somebody else, because they're not really running a tight operation there. What they're really, and then of course, you know, it says translate this letter in a whole bunch of different languages. Look. Right? Because they want to make sure you get it, you know. They want to make sure you get it. They don't want you getting away. And it looks like everybody's paying. Look, English, Spanish, Italian, Haitian, Creole, French, Portuguese, Vietnamese, Polish, Slovenian, Tagalog. I never even heard of that language. Tagalog? Croatian. So they got you. It's a lot of men from all over paying this crap. I mean, child support, listen. I'm all for responsible parenting. I really am all for responsible parenting. But, you know, this is downright abuse and harassment. And they should have their administrative duties in order so they don't have to send out a fucking letter like this to a guy that's already paying. You know, I shouldn't have to take time from my work, you know, to deal with paperwork to prove my innocence because they say that I owe when I don't owe. You see what I'm saying? But this is the kind of crap that they'll put you through if you just have kids. You know, it's kind of a crime being a father nowadays. It's kind of a crime. But what if, you know, there's somewhere in that letter there it says, you know, that they can't help you with custodial issues, right, or visitation issues. So in other words, what they're saying is, you know, fuck you if you want to see your kids, and pay us. So, you know, where are you left? You know, in what condition are you left? You know, and this gives me, you know, this gives me an opportunity to bring to light an issue that I, you know, about a video that I put out several months ago when this Charlie 19 thing started, right? I sent extra money to my ex-wife. I sent her extra money. And I knew that these people, you know, I knew what these people are capable of. You know, like the situation that we're dealing with now, right? So I sent her money, extra money, right? And when I asked her, you know, a couple weeks afterwards, if I could, you know, if I could bring my son out on the road and this and that, because he wasn't in school, this and that, she said not now. She said maybe when he's older. So I said to myself, well, you know, is it really worth being extra nice to your ex-wife, you know, in the name of the kids? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I learned my lesson the hard way. Don't go out your way for these women because they don't deserve it. You know, I got another video coming out soon, you know, where I'm going to talk about, you know, how, well, I'm going to talk about many things, but, you know, you got women out here that have gold digging clubs. They really do have gold digging clubs. And you have women coaching other women on how to best take advantage of men financially. So be careful out there, guys. Stay safe. Stay MGTOW. Grab all the money that you can earn and invest it in yourself and use it for yourself and for your advantage. Having kids nowadays is very tough. You know, I don't regret having children. My children are a beautiful thing. You know, like most fathers don't. But they'll kick you out of the house. You know, these women will kick you out of the house because that's what they're getting paid for. That's their dream. You know, women shun work. They hate work. And they want to make sure that, you know, somebody pays the bill no matter what. Don't be that sucker. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.